Hi everyone, just wanted to come live this morning and give you guys a little bit of an update about what we are seeing take place at the residence that they are searching for Harmony Montgomery. Police have still not given an indication as to what exactly they are looking for. Let me show you guys what we are seeing on the scene here. Nerdy Attic did go back out with his drone this morning, and they have blue tarps lying over the backyard. Let me read you guys what's going on. They were removing insulation. It's not from inside the house. I want to tell you guys that this insulation is often used to keep the tarps from freezing to the ground while they are using it to warm the ground. So I know that a lot of people were speculating about what this insulation could be from. That's just something that they use while they are searching and heating the ground like they are. Yeah, they found, if they are warming the ground, they found something with the radar. I'm hoping that they are able to bring us closure in this case soon. Sweet dreams. Let me pull up my chat that way. I don't have to keep bouncing back and forth. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, you guys. Okay. So, like I said, this insulation is something that they use to try to keep the tarp itself from freezing to the ground. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. If it would have came from inside of the home, if they were taking it from the house for some reason, they would have packaged it as evidence, not just thrown it in the back of a vehicle. I'm so disgusted. If something happened to her after the warnings from her uncle, her blood would be on. Yes. And the CPS, I agree. She's definitely failed in this case. You know, we're hearing that multiple reports happened and that multiple people reached out. As much as we try to fault the family or fault whoever, you know, it's hard whenever you're the person who calls in the report and they tell you it's unfounded. What are you supposed to do at that point? So, just to show you guys the article, it says there's a steady presence of police officers working at the home Sunday morning as freezing rain fell. Several could be seen walking down the driveway and toward the house's backyard, which is blocked off by police tape. A trailer is parked in the driveway. Around 10:30 a.m. Sunday, a pair of officers removed strips of insulation and large tarps from the small Guilford Street property and loaded them into a police truck. They left about 10 minutes later. One officer carried an orange bucket into the backyard, while another walked past the trailer and brought rolled up blue tarp behind the house. A Manchester police cruiser was parked across the street from the residence. The current residents of 77 Guilford Street are not connected with the investigation and have cooperated with law enforcement, officials have said. Somebody asked me, you know, who pays for all of this damage? The current owners of the home told them, do whatever they have to do, pull apart whatever they have to pull apart, search whatever you have to. As long as the damage is fixed, they don't care. So they are getting full cooperation, and I'm not sure if the police department picks up the cost of the damages. I don't know how that works with it being somebody else's residence. So, New Hampshire Assistant Attorney General Jesse O'Neill said there is ongoing police activity at the property on Sunday, but declined further comment. The ongoing investigation has already led to the arrest of Harmony's father and Kayla, which were not arrested in relation to her disappearance, but he was arrested for abusing his daughter, and she was arrested for welfare fraud, as we know. The dense neighborhood around the house consists of modest-sized single-family homes on small lots. The backyards abut one another, and the homes are only a few feet apart. For much of Saturday, police limited access on Guilford Street to investigators and residents. So, and Harmony's biological mom, Crystal, was there most of the evening last night. She did hold a prayer vigil for her daughter yesterday, and she is still believing that she is still out there. You know, in her heart, she does not want to believe that she is in this backyard somewhere. Yeah, Katie Lynn, the trauma for this woman who bought the house. I can't imagine someone coming to my house and saying there could be a child buried in the backyard, especially being a single mom. It kind of, like, not that moms feel things worse, but at the same time, you know, the reality kind of sinks in a little bit harder, I think. So, okay, and then this one here just tells us about the ground warming stuff that they are using. It says police are still at the house where a missing New Hampshire girl last seen in 2019. Okay, let me see where it tells us about the radar. Hold on one second. Okay, several large tarps were brought to the scene on Saturday in a pickup truck. Police unloaded the large tarps and brought them to the side of the house just before sunset. Sunday morning, the tarps could be seen being placed over the backyard of the house at 77 Guilford Street. A trailer was parked in the driveway. The markings on the trailer indicated it is used to warm the ground. The trailer, combined with the tarps, is often used at construction sites in the winter months to thaw the ground so that crews can work to remove soil. The street on Sunday was not blocked off by police. This is how they got those close-up pictures that they have, you guys. With the rain and everything, though, I'm assuming that they are warming the ground today and that they will likely be back tomorrow. It is supposed to be sunny, according to their weather radar. I looked it up. It's supposed to be a little bit warmer and sunny, so the police will be able to warm the ground today and then search it likely tomorrow. Now let me show you guys these pictures from Nerdy Addict. They do have the entirety of the backyard covered in these tarps. We know that the first day that they had, let me see if I can zoom this a little bit. Okay, no, that didn't work. Hold on. So the first day that they had been searching, it was just this, can you guys see my mouse? Yeah, okay. It was just this little central area here where they had a little bit of the dirt pulled up. But they didn't dig very deep or anything. It was just a little part where they thought that the ground may have been disturbed. Then we did know that the geologists were out with their ground penetrating radar to scan the ground. And since then we have seen them with these tarps trying to warm the ground. Wonder if Kayla Broken maybe said something, if she knew anything. I don't know, Kim. I think it's hard to say. I think it's hard to say for certain. Nerdy Addict also flew his drone over top again. Again, if you guys are not following him on Twitter, I recommend doing so because he lives close to this area and is able to give us this look as far as boots on the ground goes. Let me pause that whenever it gets right overhead again. She may be looking for a plea deal. Yeah, I would assume that she's going to, Susie Mac. I appreciate everyone who's here to watch. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I'm sorry if I cough or anything. I am still a little bit sick, but I am getting better. I wanted to tell you guys that as well. So like I said, they have this tarp is designed to warm the ground, and they have this spread over the entirety of the backyard. Now their backyard is fenced in, as you can see. And so if they were digging or potentially hiding any type of evidence, now we don't know if they're looking for evidence or if they are actually looking for her remains. But had Adam done something to her and potentially buried her or any type of evidence relating to her disappearance in the backyard, the neighbors wouldn't necessarily have noticed it going on unless they were in their upstairs floors and looking down into the backyard, because this is a relatively high fence that is up around this property. Yeah, I do sound, yeah, I feel a lot better, Susie Mac. Honestly, I was like, it was rough those last couple days. Like, I talk a lot, and so losing my voice is very traumatic for me. So there was that video there. And then he had another one. You see just a further out view here. And so originally they had these black tarps down, and as you can see, they're kind of beveled up. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But they are kind of beveled up, and that would have had the insulation in between it that we've seen them loading into the back of that pickup truck. So anybody who thinks that the insulation is from inside of the house or related to her case, it's not, besides the fact that they used it on top of that blue tarp underneath of this black tarp to help heat the ground. Yeah, I'm sure he did it in the dark if he would have done it. You know, I am hoping and praying that I still want to hold on to hope that she could be out there. But regardless of the different circumstances surrounding this, we know that her family needs closure. The only thing that I would hate more than her to be in this backyard is for her to be missing for 10, 15, 20 years like we see some of these cases. The not knowing, the not having closure is so much worse. You see families grieve for a long time, but how do you know how to grieve? You know, there's a case that I covered, the only child case that I've done that wasn't a child. Her name was Jasmine, and I have a video on her, and her mom just breaks my heart because every single year for the last 6-7 years, she has come on and she has begged and pleaded for answers about her daughter. Her daughter was, I believe, 25, 23, maybe she's somewhere in her 20s whenever she disappeared. And her not knowing has been so much worse for their family because they can't grieve. They can't move past it. They can't focus or anything because she had been involved with somebody who may have been a sex trafficker and had harmed many women. And so they don't know if she was sold into sex trafficking or drug trade, things like that, or if he murdered her. He's actually currently in jail for murdering a different or not. And families that lose their loved ones, but it breaks so much more for the ones who their loved ones are gone, but they just don't know where they are. That type of scenario is what led to EquiSearch being founded. Tim Miller had to search for his own daughter for years, for a long time. And, you know, it shouldn't be like that for families. And so as much as I would hate for her to be found in this backyard, and I would love for the idea that she is still alive, you know, her brother someday needs that closure. Her mom will need that closure someday about where she is and where she can be found. And so that's just my intake and input on all of that. Yeah, he blacked her eye. Adam made Harmony babysit her infant half sibling. Yeah, while he was in the bathroom, he said, and then he bashed her around the house. Like, it's just sick knowing the things that this little girl likely went through. And as much as she was failed by her biological mom, you know, she did know love, at least inside of the foster home. She did know love at Crystal's house, we hope. And so it's frustrating to know that she went from that foster home and from the potential she could have went with her brother had they been matched earlier with him, or, you know, had Adam missed appointments or whatever. You know, she could have went to a loving home. And so it's frustrating to hear about all the different types of abuse that she undergone. Thank you, Obama's mama. I appreciate it. Yeah, for sakes alive. As far as we know, she didn't suffer any type of physical abuse. Now, mind you, there is the psychological abuse that comes from the neglect that you undergo being in a drug user's home. That does come with it. But, you know, her mom wasn't making her stand in the corner until she defecated on herself. Her mom wasn't making her scrub her scrub the toilets with her toothbrush, and having family members know all of this and just watch it go on. And her mom wasn't bashing her around the house, quote unquote. Like, it's just frustrating to know that she went from places where she could have received love and went from a situation where she could have went to a loving home and then into that environment. And so I just wanted to come on quickly, you guys, and update you guys about everything that's going on with the investigation right now from what we are seeing. You know, I wanted to make sure that I touched base with everybody so that you guys could see that they are still looking. They're not at the house currently because they are waiting for the ground to be warm and for things to heat up so that they can search better. Another thing I wanted to pull up is I wanted to highlight a different missing person while I have you guys all here. You know, I want to use the platform to constantly spread awareness for these missing people. And so this is Brendan Santo. If you guys haven't heard of him, he was last seen at Michigan State University near Michigan Avenue and Beale Street. He was last seen on October 29th, and they're still looking for him. He has a $11,000 reward for information about his disappearance. And so they just had an updated article come out yesterday. Yeah, Sakes Alive. Nerdy Addict is who is boots on the ground at this case. So Brendan Santo just had a updated article come out, and it says 10 weeks after Brendan Santo was last seen at Michigan State University, authorities and volunteers continue searching for the missing 18-year-old. He's a Grand Valley State University student from Rochester Hills and was visiting friends in East Lansing for the Michigan State football game when he was last seen leaving Yakeley Hall on foot before midnight on October 29th. MSU police suspect that he may have been going to the Brody neighborhood. Santo's last known location was Beale Street near Michigan Avenue, not far from the Red Cedar River, according to phone and GPS data reviewed by investigators. Police dogs had picked up several indications that in that area by the river. MSU Police Inspector Chris said Thursday. That part of the Red Cedar River runs through MSU's campus, continues to be the focus of search efforts. Among those searching for Santo are MSU, Grand Valley, East Lansing, and Michigan State Police. We said from the beginning that our investigation has led us to Red Cedar River, which continues to be the primary focus. However, we continue to explore other possibilities. They have not found any of his belongings so far, but, you know, his family is continuing to hold out hope that he could be out there. Actually, this one says that the reward is now over $20,000. So please, guys, share his face and share his pictures as well. Like I said, the not knowing is sometimes worse than getting closure. And so they have no idea if he is going to be found or not. So, but like I said, guys, I'm going to keep coming live as I can. Kind of resting my voice in between everything as we continue to follow the updates on this case. And Marcus Lewis Jr. was found safe. Oh, thank God. That's awesome news. That is absolutely awesome. See, it seems like lately we have been getting, for every, 4 or 5 kids reported missing, we are like 3 of them are found safe lately. And that is such great news because, I mean, they're found, which is awesome. So, but yeah, guys, so I'm going to come live again if I hear anything else or if I see anything else. We likely won't have any more updates until tomorrow. I'm assuming that they're going to wait for the rain to stop and the ground to warm. So, thank you guys for coming. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe so that whenever I come live, you guys get the notifications. Thank you guys.